everybody. You're listening to the Big Chill Podcast. This is episode 815, Week 2 NFL Preview with Copilot Sam. Hello, Big Chillians. Welcome back to the Big Chill Podcast. Frank joined us with Eddie. Eddie, how's it going? So you didn't get the collared shirt memo. We're trying to step up the podcast appeal a little bit here. We're dressing nicely. And here you are in a T-shirt and a U of A hat.
I'll start wearing a suit and tie. We are going to get a little bit more of a video component going on for episodes. We're actually in the midst of getting an editor on board to handle the video side of things to increase our social media presence. So that's also a good opportunity for all the listeners to say, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, because we will be more active there. So we're going to really lean into the stereotypical podcast videos where we talk about...
I'm in my basement.
Well, we might need to adjust the background for you slightly, but because we don't want too many Jeffrey Dahmer vibes coming from your video. But where we'll do the thing where we're talking about Dak Prescott, and then there's the overlay of Dak Prescott throwing an interception while we speak about how great he is. So, that will be wonderful for our listeners. And as always, a chance to say to the listeners, please leave us a review. It helps.
Leave us a review, or and leave us a review?
Both. Subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, give us a rating. Depends on the platform you're listening to us from, but it helps. We only have a tiny percentage of our listeners who have ever left a review, mostly positive. So I'd rather have a negative review than no review.
So you could rip into it.
No, just it just helps us.
Because you've trolled in your youth, so you know what it's like.
Yeah.
You understand where that person's coming from. I have an update on your gift that I've given you that you haven't fully received yet. So I kept forgetting to tell you about this. I think we discussed it on podcast. I had given you my old Whoop with 2 free months, but I had forgotten to give you the actual Whoop. They gave me a box with just the band and not the Whoop part.
You gave me a strap.
But I didn't want to open the gift that I was giving you for you to see what was in it. So I did not know this. I did try and ship it like a week or two ago. It was $50 to ship just literally the Whoop part that reads your heart rate. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Go ahead. And she's like, and then it'll be $57 for them in customs fees and taxes.
Nice.
And part of me was so close to being like, yes. I want to give Eddie a gift and make him pay $57 for a free thing he doesn't want or ask for.
And the best part about that too, whenever they do it, because I've had these situations in the past, they give you, in France, I would have received an email and it would have basically told me, hey, pay ahead of time. Otherwise, if the delivery person shows up, instead of being $57, it's going to be $70 because of the inconvenience of having to handle that transaction in person. But if you pay online before the delivery, then it's the 57. The wonderful thing about it is it doesn't give you the information as to actually what's being sent to you. So I would have just received an email saying, you have a package coming. Please pay $57 so that you can receive it. So that would have been the even better thing, is I would have been left in the tricky situation of I don't think I've ordered anything from the US, so I don't know what this could possibly be. So it probably would have just been sent back to you.
Yeah, I looked at the woman and I was like, so it's $107 total to ship it? And she's like, no, it's $50. And I was like, yeah, but then it's another $57. She's like, but you don't pay that here. And I was like, yeah, but
that's for that guy.
That's the fuck them over.
That's the them problem. We're just
that's not a you problem. We're good here. So I had to cancel that. I figured it wasn't worth $107 to ship a free Whoop, and you'll have to wait a few months to get it.
That's okay.
But I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, because at that point, I may as well just buy one. The great part about this too
you could do almost a year of a Whoop with that.
The great part about it too is I can't remember where I've even put the strap. So there's a very realistic scenario here where you give me it and then I have to order a new strap because I can't remember where I put the strap that you gave me.
I had my old strap on it still.
Yeah. Well, lucky me.
Yeah, you just have to throw it in a wash probably. would be my suggestion.
No, I'll treasure it. The built up sweat and grime just adds to the experience.
Yeah. And so, and then also, this is another, I think, pretty funny story. Speaking of overcharging, I don't know if we ever discussed on the podcast when we all took our trip, me, you, former co-host Sam, and two of our other friends. We took our trip to Blackburn. The one night we got back to the hotel pretty late, and we had skipped dinner, so we had ordered McDonald's.
Yeah.
Through Uber Eats, and it was how much? Like 150 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. That was
And
accidentally sent to them.
And we incorrectly ordered it on Sam's to Sam's London address and not our Blackburn hotel. And we tried to cancel, and they would not refund us because supposedly they had already started the order, even though it was like no more than 4 minutes after.
And McDonald's.
And it's McDonald's.
They're not cooking stuff to order.
Yeah. So let's fast forward almost a year, or not even a year, like 8 months. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I actually was driving to Omaha. I stayed in the hotel before my flight the next morning, and I'm in the Omaha airport at Hampton Inn Omaha Airport. That's what it's called. And so I go on Uber Eats. I pick out a meal that I want from just like a fast food type of place. I order not McDonald's, like an actual kind of restaurant, but like a more fast food restaurant. I order it, and then as it's like starting to not just like process, it hasn't even been finalized or sent or anything. I look at the address, and the address says, I think, like Cedar Falls, Iowa. It says like Hampton Inn, Cedar Falls, Iowa, but it says Omaha Airport, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, did I pick? Is there like an Omaha Airport in Iowa or something? Like, fuck, I must have messed this up. So as soon as it goes through, I mean, literally, as soon as I'm able to press a button, I pressed cancel, and then it goes to like a chat, and then you have to chat with this bot, and like, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to cancel, delivered to the wrong address. They're like, are you sure you want to cancel? Like, if you cancel before the vendor accepts it, like whatever. I'm like, yeah, cancel. It had to have been 30 seconds. They would not refund me because the vendor had already accepted. Like, there is no way that the message even got to the vendor. It was the biggest bullshit I've ever seen. So then I go to Google Maps and I look, and it actually is the airport, but it's like it's literally on the border. So there's a hotel next to me, the Holiday Inn. That's in Omaha, Nebraska. 10 feet over is my hotel, and it's technically in Iowa. It's like literally right on the border. So it was the hotel, but on Google Maps, or like on the card, it says Omaha, Nebraska, but on Google Maps, it says Iowa. It's like really fucking strange. I have no idea what's going on here. So then I was like, shit, it is the right address. So then I go back to Uber Eats. I was like, I want to reorder this, like undo my cancel. And they're like, we can't undo the cancel. And I was like, it's been 30 seconds since I've ordered, canceled, and now want to like uncancel the order. And they would not do it. And then I talked to a full representative, and I kind of gave them a little bit of an Eddie comment at the end. I was like, this is why I hate ordering with Uber Eats, and I'd rather deal with DoorDash because you guys are so inconsiderate. And the guy goes, if there's nothing else you need, I'm going to end this chat now. And just ends it.
Nice. I respect that move. I also,
and then he played my card, so I paid double the amount for the food because I did reorder it.
There you go. I actually also have, we can completely ruin any chances that we're sponsored by Uber Eats at any point, but I also have an Uber Eats rant where I ordered something from Uber Eats the other day, and part of my order was missing, which happens. I think it actually happens more frequently than it should with Uber Eats orders, but usually it's just
I got a question. Was the bag, did they have like one of those like
it was sealed.
Okay.
Yeah, it was stapled.
Was it okay?
The driver had
was it restapled by someone in a car?
Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, you could steal stuff and just have a stapler. It doesn't take a huge amount of investment in order to be able to take whatever you want from someone's order. But I think it was just the restaurant had left one thing out. And so usually that's a pretty simple process in Uber Eats of just, hey, this is missing, and it just automatically refunds you. No big deal. Every once in a while, I don't know how their algorithm works, but I guess for an auditing purpose, it doesn't do it automatically, and you have to speak to someone or they look into it. In this instance, it kind of went to the manual process. So I just submitted the message and thought in an hour or two, someone will write back and say, we've refunded your $14.99 for that item. But I didn't get any response. And so 24 hours later, I said, hey, I haven't had any updates on this issue. Is it possible to get this resolved? And then I got a response from the person who said, in order for us to be able to process this refund, could you please send us a picture of the receipt of the order that you received and a picture of the bag? I never get, they love the like, send us a picture of your order. If I'm trying to scam you, I'm just going to not include the thing I said is missing. Like, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to say the fries didn't show up, and yet I'm going to take a picture and the fries are sitting there, and you're going to have some big gotcha moment that you're like,
there's like one little fry in the corner of the
Yeah.
bag, and like, what is that thing
Yeah.
there?
Oh, the grease stain, the grease stain on that particular napkin would indicate to us the fries were in the bag. But
Yeah.
And I said, it's been 24 hours. I don't have any of this anymore. I can't send you a photo of anything. If you'd asked me to do this 24 hours ago, I would have taken a photo. But I don't just randomly take photos of every Uber Eats delivery I get just on the happenstance that later on I need it for some proof. And B, I don't.
You don't food porn all your Instagram,
No.
all your Uber Eats.
Certainly not the
Instagram?
Receipts. And on top of that, I don't hold on to the garbage from my Uber Eats delivery for 24 hours either. And they said, well, if you can't send us the picture, then we can't help you. And that was the end of the issue.
If there's any other things, let me know. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll end this chat now.
Yeah, pretty much. So we both got a polite FU from Uber Eats customer service.
I mean, this must be how they make a decent amount of money. Is like, it's like Ryanair. The scams and the frustration and the inability to like make an easy customer experience ends up getting them money in the end.
Yeah, and I mean, look, they know realistically that you're not. It's an empty thread of I will no longer use Uber Eats again, right? Same with Uber. They just know, yeah, you're going to use us because it's too convenient. At least in the U.S., you have more alternatives. Here we have Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and I think one other, but you don't have as many sort of options that you could go to kind of get the same experience. And no one here delivers other than through those services now too, unless you're ordering from like Pizza Hut or Domino's. So you are screwed. If you want the delivery, you've got to use them, and they know it.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. Maybe I should ask Microsoft Copilot what it would do in this situation.
Well, just wait, because we've got a lot of Microsoft Copilot coming up soon.
We do. And I had to tell Microsoft, this is a bit of a spoiler, but we're going to do this bit for the entire season, or at least until I lose interest in it. But I asked Microsoft Copilot to provide us with the predictions and summaries for week 2 of the NFL. And for anyone out there who thinks AI is going to take your job, or that AI is so impressive and it's just a matter of time before AI runs anything, one of the predictions was for the Bills-Jets game. And I'll give you this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I'll give the exact quote where it says 538 FPI lists Buffalo as a 7.2 favorite and gives them a 66.6% chance to win outright. The Jets offense struggled to find rhythm in week 1. Did it? While Josh Allen and co. exploded late in that 41-40 thriller over Baltimore. Bill Belichick's defense should force turnovers and Buffalo will cover the spread. And I was reading through them just to check the information, and I had to say, why did you say Bill Belichick's defense when referring to the Jets? And it said, I apologize for the mix-up. I mistakenly attributed the Jets' defensive identity to Bill Belichick, who actually leads the Patriots.
Nope. Try again, Copilot.
I mean, this is a disaster for this AI. But,
Is it just pulling everything right off of FPI?
No, it does go through I'm not going to lie. It does a pretty good job of giving you some interesting stats and things, but
how do we know they're right?
We don't. On the basis of this, it took, I don't, and it is definitely true that the Jets offense struggled in the last game. They scored.
Yeah, they only put up 30 points.
Yeah, I think their defense definitely struggled.
Most they put up the entire decade.
And maybe Copilot, maybe it's just run by Robert Kraft, and that was just a shot at Bill Belichick for look at that Jets defense giving up 30 plus points to Aaron Rodgers.
Before we get to NFL Week 2, any other sporting news that you want to cover beforehand? Obviously, it's international break.
Yeah.
In football, so not much there.
No, England had a good win over Serbia, probably the first good performance of the Thomas Tuchel era. So that's sort of encouraging, but I have to admit my interest in the England team is at a low. Well, I think it's the combination, right? We had a summer without a major tournament. So this is the period where you would expect a dip because you haven't had the excitement of a big tournament for over a year now. And I don't find the Thomas Tuchel team selection or the style in which England play under him to be particularly inspirational. And so it's, I haven't watched most of the England games. I didn't watch, for example, when they played Andorra the other day. I did not feel the need to tune in and watch England scrape past Andorra. But, I'm sure my passion will build as we get towards a World Cup in the U.S. What a good destination to be hosting a major tournament in. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we discussed the U.S. Open already.
I did have a good statistic for you, actually.
Okay.
I know how you love obscure,
stats,
somewhat meaningless
I love
stats.
numbers.
Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner have now played each other 15 times.
Okay.
In that head-to-head matchup.
Wow, good stat.
This is what the listeners come
Where
for.
Where did you find that?
Yeah, Copilot.
They've actually played each other 23 times.
They've never played each other before. But Carlos Alcaraz has won Jannik Sinner has won 1,573 points in that matchup.
Okay.
Carlos Alcaraz has won 1,579 points. So over the course of 15 matches, they have a 6-point difference in terms of total points won, which is pretty fascinating.
But what's the head-to-head?
I don't have that at hand. I think.
Oh, come on.
I'll
Eddie
find
Copilot.
it for you. I'll find it for you. Give me a second.
I'm going to say 10-5 Sinner. Other way, 10-5 Alcaraz.
Wow. Did you Google it?
No.
Oh, it is 10-5 Alcaraz. Nice job.
It's probably deep in there somewhere when I was watching the U.S. Open final.
Possibly, yeah. And that prize money, now that I have to look at it. So Carlos Alcaraz career prize money, $53,486,628. And Jannik Sinner, $48,779,987. So 6 points difference, but $5 million more to Alcaraz. Not bad. We're for a 22 and a 24-year-old.
Yeah, I actually got caught into just an awful rabbit hole that I didn't want to have to ever be in. Was he's dating Brooks Nader, and this is supposed like a famous person. I had no idea who this was.
Yeah.
And then I got sucked into like her and her sisters are like the Nader sisters, and they're just as annoying as like the Kardashians, maybe even more so because like they are trying to replicate what the Kardashians did, but be more friendly, but also not. And now they have their own show. So I watched like the trailer for the show, and I got really angry at myself that I wasted 3 minutes of my life on this dumb fucking reality TV shit. I got like so angry. I spent 20 minutes on being like, who the fuck are these people and why are people caring about these people? And it blows my mind. Like it gets me so upset, like why people care so much about a group of attractive sisters who moved to New York City. And the shenanigans they get into.
You didn't follow the 2019 swim search that she won?
No, I didn't.
It was a hotly contested competition.
SI swimsuit model.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I also saw her during the U.S. Open on my reels, where she would say, where they go, "Oh my God, you're at the U.S. Open. You're attending. Who are you dating?" And she'd say, "I can't say." And then they go,
and her sisters were in there, like in the interview with her.
Yeah.
You're the asshole who made me watch this. I bet it probably came into my reels because you watched it.
And I had the same thing, which is, who the fuck is this, and why should I care? Yeah. And then you look at the comments, and those are the comments of just, who is this? Which the problem is, and I know people know, but that's all they want. That's the engagement that drives the popularity of the reel, is people commenting or sending to a friend, who is this? Like I get some people treat that as in like slamming them. Oh, gonna hurt her feelings in the comment section. It's like, no, they'd rather that than nothing. Again, like that's useful to them. I have to say, I mean, she's pretty. I don't think she's like that attractive that if I were Yannick Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz, on top of it clearly coming across as a pretty awful and vapid person, like I doubt she's contributing much from a conversational standpoint. But
Well, that's a little rude.
I watched a few clips with her. It wasn't great. And look, people can say that people get the chance to listen to us and they can draw their own conclusions. But she was not exactly misinteresting in the several interviews that I saw her in. But both of them seemingly have dated her, which already I find that weird. If you two are building towards this big rivalry, you can't date the same girl. Like unless you think this like further cements the rivalry. But just
yeah, it definitely does. But and it's great because if Alcaraz was second, he can do the like I stole her from you, and then Sinner can be like the yeah, but I had her first. Like both of them feel in the right there, which is ridiculous. Because I mean, I'm sure she's actually the one that's choosing them and not the other way around.
Because I also don't, and again, it is just this part of the world that just exists to gossip, and we're contributing to it here. But when you do Google her, there's an article from 5 hours ago. Brooks Nader dated Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner during the U.S. Open. What does dated mean? It's a 2-week-long tournament. Does that mean you went on a date with both of them? You slept with both of them? You can't have been like dating both of them.
Easy, no, big boy.
No, but I'm just saying, what does that mean? And then there's another article. This is in the Figaro in France. They're getting coverage there. Brooks Nader is dating Yannick Sinner. And then there's an article on Grace and Nader confirmed sister Brooks Nader is dating Carlos Alcaraz from a day ago. Who's she dating?
Let's get her on.
Yeah. I'm hooked now.
I really want to know about this show, Love Thy Nader. That's the name of the show. Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, they got you with the pun.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah. So that's tennis. Tennis also kind of done for the year for the most part. Obviously, the U.S. Open was the last Grand Slam. We got the final end of season tournaments, but pretty much tennis coverage done. I've been watching a lot of cycling. I know that's not a topic we're really going to discuss on the podcast, but I have been watching the Vuelta a España. But yeah, other than that, I kind of a dead week.
Was a lot of week for television. We'll get to that in a little bit. I did watch a good amount of TV on my travels, which I will have to say, I think one of the best things Netflix does is that they allow you to download, because it is so frustrating when you get on a small plane that doesn't have a TV in front of you and they don't have the Wi-Fi that you can stream something. So the only thing you can watch is if you download something, and Hulu doesn't let you download shows. What's the other big one that I want to watch? Oh, Peacock doesn't allow you to download shows, but Netflix and Amazon Prime and HBO, but that's HBO, will allow you. It's such a I don't know why Hulu wouldn't go for that. It's so dumb.
I got a wild suggestion for you. Why don't you get a book?
Ugh. Reading? Are you fucking insane?
That's what airports exist for, don't they? They're just propping up bookstores at this point.
No, airports exist so they can put lounges in and I can go sit and fanboy in them.
Yeah, and make yourself feel like you're getting a bargain to eat.
Yeah,
eat room temperature tortellini that have been sitting out there for 4 hours,
and free beer.
Yeah. All right, let's shift on to the NFL. I guess we can start by discussing last night's Thursday night game, which the Packers got to 2-0 with a 27-18 win over the Washington Commanders. Wasn't the most exciting game. It kind of actually felt a little similar to the Lions game in that the Packers always felt in complete control, but then the score didn't totally reflect it. Like it was a 2-score game. The Commanders were getting the ball. The Green Bay Packers weren't completely closing the door, but at the same time, from I'd say midway through the first quarter onwards, I never felt like the Commanders were going to win that game.
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable about my selection of Green Bay to the Super Bowl because right now it feels like they're in like third gear. And whether that's purposeful or not, I don't know. In my head, I'll say it's purposeful, and they're kind of just low throttling in to the season and saying like, hey, we can easily beat this team. Let's not go too hard. And then when we need to, we can really, step into high gear and put the pedal to the metal. But who knows? I'll be in the optimistic standpoint and think that's what they're doing. But they do look good, but for some reason, they don't look as good as you think they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if you kind of took the scoreboard away and you were just watching the game, which is sort of how, because I wasn't fully watching it at times, so you would sort of have an eye on it, but I was doing some other things. And you did feel like I was going to look back at the score and it was going to be Packers 35,
Yeah.
Commanders 12. And it was like, oh no, the Commanders have the ball and they're actually only down by 10 points. This could be, the game could turn pretty quickly if they can put a good drive together, but they didn't until it kind of didn't matter.
And here's the only negative thing I'll say, and this is maybe a little controversial given that Jordan Love statistically had a great game. I only watched the first half because then I had a late hockey game. But in the first half, he had 3 throws of over 40 yards where a guy was, if he hits them, it's a touchdown or like a 50-yard pass. And he had no pressure, and he missed every one of those throws. Like barely missed, but missed. He had the one to Golden that he like dove for and missed. I think he had the one very early on that might have been to Dobbs or Wicks that he like just missed, and he had one on the sidelines as well. Like their offense looks good, but at times he does miss passes, and these guys were open. Like there was one where Golden just blew by the guy, and he threw it like 10 yards behind him, and he had to turn back, and it got tipped. Whereas like if he actually just hit him in stride, it was like a 70-yard touchdown. Like he does miss those throws occasionally.
Yeah. No, he does look good, though. I would feel, if I was a Commanders fan, I'd be optimistic about what the future looks like
Packers.
with him. No, I'm talking about, I was thinking of Jaden Daniels there.
No, I'm talking about
talking
Love.
about Jordan Love. Okay.
Yeah, Love missed a few like
I think
big
okay.
open throws.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think the Commanders look very good. Like this is 2 games now. Like Daniels did not look good yesterday.
He looked fine, I thought. I mean,
Did he?
The Packers are a top 3 defense. I don't think that was a bad performance. But we didn't record the podcast in time, but for record's sake, I did ask you for a tip. We were both on Packers to win, Packers minus 3.5, as was Copilot, who Copilot was pretty good. They predicted 27-22
win
win
this morning.
No, I asked yesterday. And I
asked this morning what they predict the week 2 matchup between Green Bay and the Commanders to be.
I can ask now if you want. But they had Packers 27-22, so 27-18 was the final score. So that's not a bad prediction. They said the Packers boast a formidable home field advantage under the lights at Lambeau. The Green Bay Packers defense held Detroit to 50 rushing yards in week 1. Washington hasn't beaten the Packers at Lambeau since 1988.
Autopilot in with the alliteration.
Yeah.
The lights at Lambeau.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
Sounds like they're right out of an NFL films episode.
You just need the big music coming in the background and a black and white, like an image of John Madden running towards us in black and white. Moving on from there, then, turning our attention to Sunday. I've already teased how Copilot got the Bills-Jets preview a little bit off, but the Bills are 6-point favorites against the New York Jets.
I'll start then, I guess. I think the Bills will win this. I think the Bills will cover. We discussed, earlier, the Jets offense did look pretty good, and they ran the ball pretty well. And the Bills actually gave up a lot of rushing yards to the Ravens. So while most people would think that's a worry, I just think the Ravens are so damn good running the ball that they are a cut highly above the Jets in terms of how the Jets can run the ball. And I honestly just think that Jets-Steelers game is going to be one of those weird games we look back on and say, like, how did both those teams score so many points in that game and kind of look good? So I think that the Bills will win. I think the Bills will cover. This is Josh Allen. Here's my stat. Tell me if Copilot has this one. Josh Allen has 18 career turnovers against the Jets. It's the most by any quarterback against a single opponent since he entered the league in 2018. So not very good against the Jets.
Copilot did not have that stat. All Copilot told me was that Josh Allen posted 394 passing yards and 2 touchdowns in week 1. So it took a lot of scraping to figure that out. But then I asked it to correct itself on this prediction. So I'm going to agree with you. I think the Bills are just far too good, and I think they should win this and win this easily. And it's a kind of important game, divisional game. Even if you're the Bills, you sort of scraped by in week 1. You don't want to now suffer a divisional loss, because then the start to the season does look not great. But I asked Copilot to correct itself. So Copilot has the Bills winning 30-17. So after it made the mistake with Bill Belichick, it then said New York's offense sputtered against Indianapolis, which I don't know when they're referring to, because that's not the week 1 game. And it said the Jets will struggle to match the Bills' tempo. I agree with it on that, but I don't know. This is always the theory, right? I mean, I know there's a Builder was the website, and people laugh at the fact that Amazon, it's people manually reviewing you when you go in and out of their contactless stores. This might just be an Indian guy quickly scrambling to write NFL previews for us when I'm asking Copilot to give us some details.
Well, I was going to ask something similar and say, is this you bringing Sam back on the podcast but not putting his face on?
Yeah, we just call him Copilot now.
We should. Next time I see him, we'll call him Copilot. Wait, what was the guy? What was the name that we said we were going to do at Ascot? Babyface. I'll start calling him Copilot.
Next up, we've got the Bears at the Lions, and the Lions are 6-point favorites. For me, for this one, this is an interesting one, because the Lions obviously looked pretty terrible in week 1, and in a way that's concerning given what they were good at over the last year or two in terms of their offense looking fast and their ability to move the ball easily. So, the fact that they only had 46 rushing yards against Green Bay in week 1 is a concern. Like, that is a worry that they've lost their offensive coordinator and that maybe they've lost a bit of their mojo in the process. On the other hand, the Bears, I don't really know how they lost that Monday night game from the position that they found themselves in, and how they somehow contrived to bring J.J. McCarthy back to life over the course of that game. He looked awful for basically 3 quarters, and then the Bears just kind of got in their own way enough that he was able to string 2 competent drives together, and then all of a sudden we're supposed to pretend that was a really good performance from J.J. McCarthy. But Caleb Williams looked
so
terrible.
good a performance. So good a performance that he won NFC Player of the Week.
Garbage.
NFC Offensive Player of the Week was J.J. McCarthy.
Idiotic. But Caleb Williams looked bad. Like, he has nice moments. I think he looks slightly better in week 1 than he did last season. And he is fast and mobile, and he makes some nice plays on the ground. But talk about guys missing wide open receivers. He had moments on just guys running crossing routes directly in front of him, and he was throwing 4 or 5 yards in front of them or behind them in ways that you just wouldn't expect to see out of an NFL quarterback. And just key moments. I mean, they had drives where all they needed to do was string together a couple of first downs down the stretch, and they were going to win that game. And instead, he couldn't get them there. So I think the Bears are going to be bad. I think this is going to be a nice bounce back performance from the Lions. I expect them to win this one comfortably.
Yeah, and it was surprising too, because the first 2 drives, the Bears and Caleb Williams looked really good. I was close to kind of being excited that, oh man, maybe Caleb Williams has turned a corner here. Like this, he's looking good. And then by the second quarter, it was like, oh no, he's not
Yeah.
looking so good anymore. And then their offense just completely stalled and sputtered.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think the Lions will win here. This is the return of Ben Johnson, very quick return, coming back to Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown said on his podcast that he will boo him and everyone in the stadium will boo him, and that's part of the process. I thought that was kind of funny. He said it like seriously,
Joking.
but in a
Yeah.
joking way. Yeah, and I think he's serious in that he will boo him, but not because he hates him, but because that's kind of what you have to do, right?
Yeah. It's the
So
mindset.
yeah, I kind of like that. I thought that was kind of funny. I think the Lions did not look good week one, but I think you can, at this point, I think you can still take that as maybe that was not who the Lions really are. And I trust that they are still the team for the most part that they were last year, even though they did lose both coordinators. And I'm going on the fact that Jared Goff has won his last 10 games after a loss. So he is quite good
Ooh,
after a loss.
the stat man is back. But so, yeah, we've both got the Lions winning and covering, as does Copilot, who's tried to redeem himself or herself. I don't know the gender of Copilot. But
Itself, Eddie.
itself. With
Why do you have to genderize everything?
they self. With the I called it out for the not being good with the Bills Jets game, and it's tried to get very specific in its prediction for this. So it has the Lions, winning 30-16, but added that the Bears flashed promise but remain unstable on offense, lacking a reliable play caller and depth at receiver. Jared Goff will engineer 2 or 3 scoring drives, while the Lions defense forces turnovers in the second half.
Okay, so is it two or three scoring drives? That's it.
And second half turnovers.
Okay,
I like that it's
I think I could bet
specified
on
the
the second
second
half
half.
over. Yeah.
We got to. So now, if you want to, the co-pilot bet of the week is Caleb Williams to throw a second half interception. Try and find that bet somewhere. Up next, we have the Browns at the Ravens. The Ravens are the heaviest favorite for the week, coming off the back of their fourth quarter collapse against the Bills. The Ravens are 11.5-point favorites. Now, you know what I say always, every sport, always bet a team, a good team after a loss. I think this is definitely an example of this because, the Ravens would legitimately be in trouble if they're 0-2 in a kind of competitive division. So, and also competing for, first for a bye in the playoffs and, possibly number one seed if they can. In a conference where home field advantage is probably going to be pretty important. I think the Browns tried to trick us in week one. They tried to make us think that they're actually okay, and they're not. They're really, really bad. And don't be fooled by them being frisky against a Bengals team that tries to trick us that they're good all the time. That was two teams trying to fool us, and I will not be fooled by both of them or either of them. So I think this will be a blowout win for the Ravens, and I just think Lamar Jackson running all over this Browns team, Flacco looking every bit a 40-year-old quarterback who was struggling to find a job a few months ago. And yeah, I think this will be an easy win for the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm pretty much fully in agreement there. The Browns have won 2 out of the last 3 matchups, though, against the Ravens. However, Eddie, following a loss since 2022, who do you think owns the best record in the NFL?
Well, you're obviously you're queuing me up to say the Ravens or trying to trick me into saying the Browns, but it can't possibly be the Browns because they lose most weeks. So I'll say it's the Ravens.
The Ravens are number 2 at 12-2, only behind the
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs at 9-1. Yes. Preview to that game.
Yeah. So I guess 11.5 points. It's a lot. Do you have them covering?
No, I think I agree with you. I think we were slightly fooled by week one here. This is going to be, even if they hold them to 24 points, I still think the Ravens cover.
All right. Well, who disagrees with us? Copilot. They have the Ravens winning 27-24. So another thriller. Said the Browns struggled to finish drives against Cincinnati's stifling defense, and their aerial attack lacks the explosiveness to match Baltimore flamethrower Jackson.
Whoa, I thought he was just a quarterback.
No, he's going to torch them, literally and figuratively.
This AI Copilot just watched Fantastic Four yesterday.
Yeah. Home field and revenge factor give the Ravens the edge. I mean, only a slight edge. They only got them winning by 3 points. So sounds like Copilot is both a huge fan of Lamar Jackson, but not as big of a fan of the Baltimore Ravens.
I mean, this could be Sam. Sam might have watched Fantastic Four yesterday, and now he's got the Human Torch in his mind.
And now I said that the Browns and the Bengals both tried to trick us last week. And next up, we've got the Jags at the Bengals, and the Bengals are 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah, both teams 1-0, which is not something that both those teams can probably say for the last few years. But I'm going to go with the Bengals here. They had 7 yards in the second half, still managed to win. I don't think that'll happen again. And I honestly think the Jags played one of the worst teams still in the Carolina Panthers. I know that everyone thinks they've improved, but they looked terrible. Bryce Young did not look good. He looked like the Bryce Young in the beginning of the season, not the one at the end that everyone thought he had turned a corner. Again, I think the Bengals offense will eventually click. And I think this is a good defense to be able to do it on. And I think the Bengals will come out and score a lot of points here and win this game.
Yeah. So I got an answer to your question for you. When did the Jags and the Bengals last both win their opening games? And it last happened in 1995. So 30 years ago.
There you go.
September 10th, 1995. Almost 30 years to the day where the Jags beat the Steelers 21-3.
Is that Mark Brunell?
Can't tell you that. Actually, it's lied to me. The last time it happened is 2001. I take that back. Copilot.
Is that
unreliable.
Mark Brunell?
2004 is the last time it happened.
Is that Mark Brunell?
Eventually, it's got to be. Yeah, I don't think the Bengals' offense is going to be as bad as it looked against the Browns, but I don't think the Jags are good. Despite, did you see the post-game locker room interaction with Khan, their owner, going in there and presenting the game ball and talking about how these were changes they'd started building in January, and we're just starting to see them have an impact now, and that they're going to keep going and never going to stop. And he did a never going to stop thing as he presented the ball, which was a little bit like the Dave Chappelle, like, kapow!
We're going to go to Cancun for spring break.
Yeah, it had vibes of that. So that was it was kind of interesting. I encourage you to go and watch it. But yeah, I think the Bengals will just kind of have too much for them. I do expect their offense to be back to the offense that we saw. I don't think their defense is going to hold up. I don't think they're going to be limiting to teams to, under 20 points moving forward. But I do think that the offense is going to be closer to what we saw from last season. And I think they'll score, 30 plus points in this game. And I don't think that the Jags are going to be able to keep pace with that. So I'll take the Bengals to win and to cover.
Wait. Sam Copilot. Mm-hmm. Sweet lips Joe Burrow is too big and strong for the Jaguars.
Unfortunately not. It is predicting the Bengals to win and to cover. It's got the Bengals winning 30-24. It said Joe Burrow managed just 113 passing yards in week 1, but the Bengals will open things up at home against a Jacksonville defense that allowed 143 rushing yards to Travis Etienne. Trevor Lawrence looked sharp opening the season, but Cincinnati's aerial attack should prevail in a potential shootout. Expect both quarterbacks to push 300 total yards, but Burrow's clutch late play will tip the balance.
Oh yeah, that's Sam. we figured it out.
This is his new job. He's just he was he's just in a little center somewhere furiously typing out predictions.
Why do they keep asking? I don't know.
Just
They're
write
going too
something.
quickly.
Bill Belichick. No. Oh God. Next up, we have the Rams at the Titans. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites. And I got to say, last week, I had 3 decent bets that were losses, different combinations that I threw in Saturday and Sunday of various things. I had one bet where my one loss was the Texans. Now, the Rams were kind of in control of that game for long periods of time, but I did get pretty hopeful when the Texans were driving towards the end of the game that it was going to be all right and that CJ Stroud was going to get back to his old self of coming up with game-winning drives. That was number one. Number two, I then had, although I thought the Bills would win and I had bets with the Bills, I had another bet that was like 3 or 4 days long that just had the Ravens left. That one was a little bit upsetting. And then to cap things off, one bet survived and it had the Bears. So there was some bad late fourth quarter drama for me. So hopefully things improve this week. I don't think the Rams are good, but at the same time, as long as they are as healthy as they are right now, they have enough components within that team and the McVay advantage that they'll be competent. And the Titans, I don't know how to feel about the Titans in a sense, because I actually think Cam Ward looked pretty good first out, but he was also consistently under pressure. They couldn't really protect him. He was scrambling around for his life. They had that one moment when after the muffed punt, where they went from like 1st and 10 on the 20 to 4th and 45 through a series of sacks or whatever it was. I just think that this Rams team, which is good at getting pressure, is going to cause Cam Ward problems all day. And that we've seen that as long as Stafford is around, they'll do just enough things at just the right moments. And so it wouldn't surprise me if the Titans could keep this very close or potentially even win, but I'll take the Rams to win it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm not super strong on the Rams, but at the end of the day, I think I would take Sean McVay over Brian Callahan, and I would take Stafford, Nakua, and Devontae Adams over Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett. Although, I mean, the receiving core isn't bad. Like Ridley and Lockett is pretty good, but I just don't. You can't trust a rookie QB yet. I will say, though, this is the classic, Eddie, the absolute classic West Coast team traveling to the East Coast for a 1 p.m. kickoff. It doesn't get any more classically annoying stat than that. And that is what we're looking at right here. The Rams traveling for the early game. It's going to be way early on the West Coast. They're not used to it. But I think the Rams will win this. I'll go Titans. What is it, 6 or 5.5?
5.5, yeah.
I'll take the Titans to keep it close within a touchdown.
All right. Well, who disagrees with you? Sam/Copilot, because they have the Rams winning 20-13. In week 1, the Rams ground out a 14-9 win, rallying from a 9-7 halftime deficit behind a stifling defense, while the Titans fell 20-12 after mustering just 133 total yards. Tennessee, well, it says Tennessee pressured rookie Cam Ward on 50% of his dropbacks. So I think it means the Broncos pressured rookie Cam Ward on 50% of his dropbacks, and he will face an even nastier Rams front. Sean McVay's conservative game plan and LA's superior front seven should secure back-to-back wins for the Rams.
Actually, you know what? Copilot has swung me. I'm gonna take the Rams and cover.
This is how we see AI taking over. A week ago, you were shitting on Copilot with every one of its predictions, and now it's changing your mind.
Yeah, no, I do like no. You know what it was? It's not anything it said. Just 20-13 sounds about right.
Oh, are we going to do Copilot's bet of the week?
I'm betting the exact score in that game.
Exact score, and Caleb Williams to throw a second half interception.
that parlay is gonna that's gonna fucking burn.
Not only is it going to burn, that's going to be such a specific one that that's going to get Caleb Williams flagged for like match fixing. He's going to be on the podcast next week denying the fact that he took money for in order to like throw an second half interception. All right. Next up, we have Bet365. They know that we're onto them with AI. They have just taken down all their lines. I'm not joking. The page just refreshed on me, and Bet365 has decided that there's too much risk in allowing us to use Copilot to just game the system, and so they've had to stop accepting bets on the NFL.
If you go to the exact score for the Rams, it's going to be like 20-12. 20-14. It's gonna skip 2013.
No, it'll be 20-13, but it'll be like 1-5. So we're gonna have to switch bookmakers here. All of the lines should be fundamentally the same.
Oh my god.
Next up, we've got the Dolphins at the Patriots, and the Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites.
This is for me the last time I bet the Dolphins. And part of me is doing this because I would love to see the Patriots be super shitty. And it's kind of like a betting with my heart a little bit here. I don't think the Patriots are as good as everyone thinks they are. Yes, they upgraded their team, but their team still stunk last year. Drake May was great. Yeah, he had like 2 fucking wins in 14 games. He wasn't that great. I hate doing it, but and I would love to see McDaniels get fired in week 2 as well. That would be equally as great. So maybe this is a win-win for me. I'll take the Dolphins. Tua 7-0 against the Patriots. He's never lost against the Patriots. So
it's hard to look at a team. Now, we both picked the Dolphins to win last week, and then they produced the worst performance of the week. So
one of the worst games I've ever seen a team play ever.
Yeah, so it's hard to look at that and then come away 7 days later and be like, I think they'll win again. I think, you know what? I saw enough.
I know. I'm with you.
So I think I have to, on that basis, take the Patriots. Like, I can't see how inept they looked against the Colts and think that they will have righted the ship, because the argument is that they're at home and they're a good home team. And I would get that if they just played in Buffalo in snow, but we watched them play indoors in Indianapolis and they couldn't move the ball there. Do they need the sunshine of Miami to inspire their offense? So I think neither of these teams are good. So it's a tough one. Do not bet on this game. I think that would be my advice to anyone. Just don't do it. Don't do it to yourselves. There's no way there's a very strong likelihood that you will regret whatever you do. I'll take the Patriots with the points, and I guess to win, just on the basis that I think they're both bad, and so I'd rather take the underdog. That's not great logic, but sometimes it's the way to go.
No, I would never bet this.
Copilot's on your side. It has the Dolphins winning 24-20. Miami looked out of sync in a week 1 loss to Indianapolis, mustering just 211.
Oh, you think Copilot?
Mustering just 211 total yards and failing to sustain drives. Mac Jones and the Patriots offense will move the ball more efficiently, but Tua Tagovailoa's playmakers at home should deliver enough big plays to pull away late. And this is the only game, I don't know why, but it has a key stat for this game. The Dolphins have scored 30-plus points in 4 of their last 5 home openers.
Okay. And Tua 7-0 against the Pats.
Yeah. You know what? Copilot's changed my mind. No. All right. Next up, we have the Saints at the 49ers. And the 49ers are 7-point favorites.
No, can't be.
On this they are, but... Oh, no, that's the adjusted line for some reason on this bookmaker. The 49ers are... 3.5 favorites.
Yeah.
2.5-point favorites. Yeah.
So obviously, why are they only 2.5-point favorites? Purdy is out. Kittle is out. Ayuk is out. So almost a quarter of their a third of their offense is already out by week 2. This is, I think the Niners do this on purpose. I think they know they're not good enough to be competitive, so they just let their players get injured, so then they have excuses as to why they aren't good. I mean, it's a great move. Like, no, we are the best team in the NFL, but we just get hurt. Like, if we were healthy, we'd be so good, but we're hurt. I can't believe that there are already 3 major injuries. Like, it's insane. Someone needs to look into the strength and conditioning. I'm going to say this every week because every week they're going to have critical injuries. Someone needs to look into their strength and conditioning program. If there was ever a game that I still feel comfortable with them not having their starting quarterback, their probably number 1 or 2 tight end in the league, and their number 1 receiver, it's against the Saints. I don't love Mac Jones. In fact, I don't even really like Mac Jones, but I will take the Niners over the Saints just because Mac Jones is still better than Spencer Rattler. And overall, the Niners have a decent defense and will, using a Copilot term, they will stifle the Saints offense and will put up enough points to win this game.
Yeah, look, this is a win-win for me because if the wheels do come off in week 2 with all those players out, then yeah, I'll just blame the injuries. So you're 100% right. The 49ers cannot lose this game. It's impossible because
Almost
even a
can't lose
loss
the season now already.
No, they'll be, asterisk Super Bowl champions no matter what happens. But have we not learned enough from the 49ers missing players at all times, including quarterbacks? Have we not learned that Mac Jones, about to look amazing? I mean, this is every back and 49ers backup quarterback is a superstar waiting to be given his chance. And this is the return of the Mac. This is
yeah.
This is going to have
Trey Lance that.
This is going to have people raving about this is the Mac Jones we knew he was. And I predict this. I think the 49ers will score 30 plus points against some really bad Saints teams this weekend. And then there will be the hot take that people will be having next week is Mac Jones better than Brock Purdy? That's going to be, remember how highly thought of he was coming out of college? Remember how he looked pretty good in his rookie season with the Patriots? And it's going to be that talk. And we've gone through this process literally every season with a quarterback who briefly fills in for Brock Purdy. And then the debate is that guy better? And you know what also makes me feel so much better coming into this week? Moody's been cut.
Oh God, I love it. sorry for Jake Moody. I don't love that you've lost the job, but I love that we both called that he had to be cut, and he
us and everyone else who's ever watched a game of football. And I did see the deep breakdown. He got hurt 2 seasons ago, I think it was, sort of making a tackle on after a punt. And then he missed a few weeks because he kind of rolled his ankle. And you can basically look at Moody's kicking performance before and after that ankle injury, and they are 2 different players. And so the argument can be had that either he didn't let that ankle heal properly, or that there's long-term effect from that ankle injury that's meant that he just can't get the same kicking motion or power or whatever it is. There's just that injury has basically ruined his career because he was, for the first, start of his 49ers career, he was one of the better kickers in the NFL, and then he just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the headline already in San Fran, though. McElhenney Jones shines in debut.
Should we start calling him that? Do we do the reverse?
Yeah.
Copilot has the 49ers winning 28-17. San Francisco opened as a 7.5-point favorite, and FPI pegs them as a 6.1 point choice.
Whoa, Copilot. Keep it PG, man. I don't know who this FPI person is, but fucking relax. Calm it down a little.
It is Sam. It's just Sam writing this. Reflecting their league-leading defense and efficient offense. Well, that's complimentary. New Orleans struggled to generate consistent pass rushers in week 1, and their secondary was gashed by a balanced Rams attack. I don't think they played Rams in week 1. Expect Brock Purdy, not playing, to carve up mismatches and lead the Niners to a comfortable road victory. So
Expect Brock Purdy not playing to hit George Kittle not playing, who will then pitch to Brandon Ayuk not playing for a late winning touchdown
before Moody hits the game-winning field goal. Thanks, Copilot. Nailed it again. Keep up the good work.
Now that is a bet that would cash out high.
Let's see. Let's hope that. Oh, no. Bet365 still says no to NFL bets. So we will have to stick with this. Next up, we have the Cowboys at the Giants. And the Cowboys are 5.5-point favorites.
There are so many 1:00 games this week. It's crazy. We're still talking about 1:00 games. The Cowboys, yeah, this is, I'm going to put it mildly here. The Cowboys own the Giants. I think the stat is, it was a great one I had for you. I cannot remember what it was now. I will find it for you. It was a great Prescott versus the Giants stat. But the Giants, they looked okay. I was a little disappointed in their performance. I know people are already calling for Jackson Dart to start. I don't think that's the right thing to do. You're not going to make the playoffs this season. Let him develop naturally. Put Russell Wilson back there. I mean, I'm not a huge Russell Wilson fan, but you can't judge him by 1 week, against a playoff team from last year. So give him a little bit more of a chance. But I do think the Cowboys are the better team here. They actually looked pretty decent in week 1, their offense at least. So I think they'll win this pretty comfortably. And I'll take the Cowboys to win and the Cowboys to cover. They have not started 0-2 since 2010. And Prescott has won 13 straight starts against the New York Giants. That's the second longest winning streak against an opponent in all time, except Bob Greasy, who beat Buffalo 17 straight times from 1968 to 1979. That's a great fucking stat.
That's a good stat. Copilot's going to have to hope it's upped its game for the statistics. And I think Copilot may go, it's not, the stat isn't quite as good, but Copilot did come up with an interesting take for this one. Yeah, I think in the end, it's hard to not say that the Cowboys were better than we probably expect them to be in that season opener, and looked competitive, arguably could have won the game against the Eagles. And obviously the Parsons trade didn't, maybe it's caused the team to kind of rally around and feel a better sense of unity. He was reportedly very unpopular within the camp. So as much as he might be missed in terms of quality, maybe he's not missed in terms of personality. Yeah, I think this Giants team, look, it feels like we've been saying this for as long as we've had this podcast going, but you should want the Giants to be bad. Like this, just you never want to be in that mode. And it's depressing to have been in that mode now for 5 years, basically, because at what point does it start to pay off? But
well, 2 Super Bowls.
Well, yeah, but a while ago. I mean, in a sort of 5-year period, when does the rebuild actually come about? But yeah, I think the Giants didn't look great in week 1. Russell Wilson, I mean, we've been out on him for 3 seasons, and I don't think this is the game where he shows us that he's, still a high quality NFL quarterback. So I think the Cowboys will get pressure on Russell Wilson consistently throughout the game. I think there'll be turnovers. I think the Cowboys will win this game comfortably.
How many sacks does Copilot think Micah Parsons is going to have this week?
Well, it predicts that the Cowboys will win 31-14. Said Russell Wilson posted a 45.9% completion rate in New York's opener, and left tackle Andrew Thomas is hobbled, leaving the Giants vulnerable to Dallas's ferocious front seven. The Cowboys have routed the Giants in 8 straight meetings, averaging a 25.7 victory margin when Dak Prescott starts. Extra rest after Thursday's loss to Philly will help Dallas control this divisional tilt.
Yeah.
It's
been an ass whooping for a long time.
Up next, the final early game. Steelers at Seahawks, and the Steelers are 3-point favorites.
This is a stay away game for me as well. Not a stay away because the teams are as bad as the Patriots and the Dolphins, but just a stay away in terms of I don't really know about either of these teams yet. The Steelers looked good against a win in the Jets, but was that just a one-off, and are the Jets any good? I have no idea. Whereas the Seahawks, yeah, I don't know. They looked okay, but lost. I don't know. I just have really no opinion on this game. Like, I don't even want to watch it. I don't want to bet on it. DK Metcalf, playing against his old team again very quickly into the season. We've seen that happen a few times now already. I'll do what I have to do, and I'll take the Seahawks to win.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I think I don't want to come away reading too much into how the Steelers performed, but it does make me feel more confident in that our offense and Aaron Rodgers, at least early in the season, whilst he's fully healthy, is going to look pretty competent. And their defense, that was the right way round for me to feel better out the Steelers coming away from that game, because we know over time that their defense will be good. Like, that's the tried and tested part of their team. And so I can trust them on that front to be good. And I think here, the Seahawks could have won that game against the 49ers, but ultimately the 49ers just let points slip away and really should have won that game a lot more comfortably. And I think although the Seahawks were, one Sam Darnold fumble away from winning it, they're flattered by how close that scoreline was. Like, that game could have played out in exactly the same way, and the 49ers could have won by 10 points, and no one would have batted an eyelid and would have thought Seahawks don't look great. Like, Sam Darnold, turns out, just really did well in Minnesota, but they may have made a mistake here in trusting him in Seattle, and no more DK Metcalf, and like, their offense doesn't look anywhere near as good and their defense is mediocre. So I think the Steelers will win this one actually pretty comfortably. So I'll take the Steelers to win and the Steelers to cover, and Copilot agrees with me. Yeah, go ahead.
Rodgers was sacked 4 times that game. How many more sacks before he's done? How many more games of getting sacked 4 times can he handle?
4.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to last the whole season. I genuinely don't. He looks good throwing the ball, but from the waist down, it doesn't look very good.
Oh, calm down.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying Copilot's going to say.
Aaron Rodgers has a huge schlong. but I think whilst the weather holds, things will be okay. I'm not confident as how well that body's going to hold up when he's getting sacked 4 times in November in Pittsburgh and it's cold and the ground's a little frozen, and hitting the ground just hurts that little bit more. And, you kind of fall on your hip and it doesn't feel good, with a 300-pound man landing on the other side. I think that's when I'm worried for him. As whilst the weather kind of remains good, I think he'll be all right. Copilot has the Steelers winning 24-17. It said Aaron Rodgers dazzled in his Steelers debut, throwing 4 touchdowns against his old Jet squad, while Sam Darnold managed just 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and an interception in Seattle's loss. Pittsburgh's veteran-laden secondary should limit big plays, and the Seahawks pass rush won't get home as often as they did against San Francisco. Look for Pittsburgh to control possession and lean on their rushing attack. What a prediction. Up next, we finally get to shift into the late games. I have to once again shift bookmakers. We have the Panthers at the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals here will win this. The Panthers did not look good. Bryce Young again looked like he did earlier in the season, not later in the season after he came back from being benched. I was pretty high on the Cardinals to start the season. They didn't look that great. They did win, but it was against the Saints. But I think it's nice for them to get a win and get going. They're looking to start 2-0 since 2021, which was the last time they made the playoffs. So this could be a good, encouraging start for them. I think they'll be able to handle the Panthers here. They'll shut down Bryce Young, and they'll put up about 24 points.
Wow. You're trying to rival Copilot on the specificity there?
Yeah.
Let's see how many points does Copilot have? Oh, 26. You're in step. The two of you. The minds are merging. AI is taking over. Yeah. Look, I think the Cardinals are sort of top half, the top somewhere between the top 10 and top 15. The Panthers are bad. I feel like this is a little bit, in a sense, almost with this line, a slight overreaction to the Cardinals' underwhelming week 1 win. And that because the expectation was that they would be more dominant, people are now sort of thinking that maybe the Cardinals aren't as good as we thought they were going to be. Overall, I just think, their defense is better, their offense is better, their special teams is probably better. I can't see where the Panthers are really going to have the edge in this. And so, I think the Panthers will struggle, and I expect the Cardinals to win and win going away. Copilot has the Cardinals winning 26-17. Cardinals offense failed to respond when Jacksonville piled up 143 rushing yards in week 1. Carolinas. That's my mistake, not Copilot's. Raising questions about their ability to sustain drives. Arizona covered in nearly 60% of simulations as a 6.5-point favorite at home.
Oh, now it's simulating. Oh, great. Now it's going into alternate realities.
Thanks to a ground and pound attack that totaled 146 rushing yards on the road. Kyler Murray and James Conner should control the clock and keep Carolina off balance. Now, here's the question. If we get into, we're not an overreaction podcast, but I think this is the game that most of the world could overreact to one way or the other, kind of leaning into it. And that is the Broncos at the Colts. And the Broncos are only 2.5-point favorites. And you could have, the week 2 lines were available last week, pre week 1 being played. They sort of put the first 2 games of the season out there. I don't know what this line was. I'm sure I could find it if I really wanted to. I would bet that the Broncos were 5.5, 6-point favorites prior to what happened in week 1. And that this is a combination of people being slightly disappointed in that Broncos offensive performance, and that Bo Nix didn't look great, and the Colts and Daniel Jones looking really good offensively, and now people thinking that actually the Colts might not be as bad as we thought they were going to be, and the Broncos might not be as good as we thought they were going to be. I think the Broncos are going to absolutely dominate this game, and this is the back to reality for Daniel Jones, and that this Broncos defense that is arguably the best defense in the league will just stifle him, smother him, have him scrambling for his life. Just Daniel Jones sack after sack and sad face towards the sidelines. I think the Broncos win this by 15 plus points, so I'll take them to win and to cover.
I'm going to go with the Colts here. I think we're looking at the surprise team of the year right here. Daniel Jones feels invigorated. He is revitalized. He is the Daniel Jones that led Duke to mediocre 500% win seasons year after year. Honestly, I'm picking this solely on the fact that I think Bo Nix had a great first year, but I think it's back to reality for Bo Nix and in his sophomore season. He posted a 26.2 QBR, only beating last week Bryce Young, Cam Ward, and Tua. Couldn't beat Russell Wilson, Flacco, May, or even Spencer Rattler for that fact. He did not look good at all. He turns the ball over a lot, and I think that's going to be an issue this season. He had, I think multiple interceptions. I can see that happening again here versus the Colts. They scored on every possession. They had the ball, all 7 in week 1. If they can score on half this time against a defense that is much better, so let's cut it in half and say they score on 3 drives. I still think that beats the Broncos because I don't think their offense is that great. So I'm going to take the Colts here.
Wow. I thought we weren't an overreaction podcast, and this to me is the biggest possible overreaction that you could have had to week 1.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until Daniel Jones has the worst ever QBR ever posted and Bo Nix is thrown for 300 yards.
We'll have to see.
Well, I guess
Copilot's kind of Copilot.
It's kind of splitting the difference between us because I'm expecting a dominant
Copilot's
Broncos
such a
victory.
Bitch. Take a stance, Copilot. Take a goddamn stance.
It has the Broncos winning 23-20. The Broncos surprised Tennessee 20-12. I don't know if that was a surprise. Holding the Titans to 133 total yards and forcing 3 turnovers in week 1. Indy's defense hasn't faced a secondary as physical as Denver's. I don't know why the 2 defenses will be facing up against each other. And Josh Jobs should find...
You didn't hear that? That's what they're going to... NFL
really?
is trying something new this game.
Nice.
It's going to be defenses against each other and then offenses. It's actually Jones against Bo Nix.
Oh, wow. Nice. In man coverage every time. And Josh Jobs should find more room to operate outside the pocket. It's interesting, too. A late field goal sees this one for Denver in a low-scoring affair.
I don't know if 43 points is the low scoring. That's probably on the over-under. Wait, what is it? The over-under is 43.5. So I wouldn't call that low scoring if it's hitting the over-under, basically.
Yeah.
Copilot, get your shit together, man.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you that I'm not sure where Copilot's getting some of this information from, but that's okay. After that, we have only other. See, and we complain about this every season, but you have so many early games, and then you only have 3 late games. Plus, when you then factor in the 20-minute staggering of the kickoff for the late game, so you fundamentally have 2 real options because they're already a quarter into it by the time this Eagles at Chiefs games kicks off. The saving grace of this is that at least is a very good game or a compelling game to watch. So you do have real reason to be tuning in for the late games, where sometimes if all we had to choose from was Panthers at Cardinals, Broncos at Colts, and let's say that was Steelers at Seahawks instead of Seahawks at Steelers, and that was the other late game, it's not really must-watch TV, but Eagles at Chiefs. And the Eagles are 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I mean, obviously, I would love to be able to take the Chiefs here. At Arrowhead, coming off a loss. We already said the statistic. They're the best team coming off a loss in the NFL win percentage. I really, really want to, but I just don't see how they can beat the team that manhandled them in the Super Bowl less than 8 months ago now, 6 months ago, whatever that was. Not much has changed since then. And if anything, you could say the Chiefs have gotten slightly worse considering they won't have Xavier Worthy, it looks like, and they still are without Rice. And they don't have many options here. And as much as I love Mahomes, and as much as I think he can make plays and try to put a team on his back and win a game, he literally can't fake a slide and run over a defender every play. Eventually they'll catch on. And, by the time the game's over, Eddie might have his way and the rule will be changed. But I just don't see it happening. The other thing that kind of pisses me off, this is a side note of this game, is that Jalen Carter had a 1-game suspension for his spitting incident, but they counted his ejection in the game as his suspension. So he's playing in week 2. So don't call it a fucking suspension. He was ejected from the game and just say he will not have a suspension. Like, it's such a cop-out by the NFL to try and be like, no, we suspended him. But he's not actually missing a game. he was already ejected, so that counts. So okay, sorry guys. Like it's such a weak stance by the NFL. They should kick him out of the fucking NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's like getting a red card in a football match, and then you get suspended. They don't say, "Well, you got sent off in the first minute," so actually, there's no suspension there because you've already
Yeah,
received your punishment. Like the in-game punishment is separate from the post suspension. They're not the same thing.
yeah. But I'll take the Eagles to win this.
I mean, I have to double down, triple down, quadruple down. I think the Chiefs are going to be bad. I think the Chiefs are going to get smashed in this one. Eagles are 1.5-point favorites. Give me the Eagles minus 11.5, and I'll feel super confident. Just this Chiefs team, it's on their last legs, as you alluded to, missing one of their few important offensive reliable weapons that they have. So things are looking even worse for them this week than it was last week. Since 2000, there have been 15 instances where Super Bowl opponents have played each other again in the regular season the following year. The Super Bowl winner has won 9 out of those matchups. So odds favor the Eagles that they will repeat their Super Bowl victory. Although the last time it happened was in 2023 when the Chiefs and the Eagles played against each other. And the Eagles, that time, having lost the Super Bowl the previous year, won 21-17 in week 11. So,
But you know what, Eddie? I will counter stat your stat. And this is the 4th Super Bowl rematch in week 1 or 2 of the season. And only one team that has won the Super Bowl has won the rematch. And 3 out of the 4 times, the losing team has won.
Well,
so there you go.
So you have the Eagles winning it. I have the Eagles winning in a blowout. Copilot has the Chiefs winning.
It doesn't matter. You're such a pain in the ass.
20.
It doesn't matter if they win a blowout or not.
28-25. This Super Bowl rematch will be as charged as any in recent memory, with both squads still wielding top 5 offenses and defenses. I think that's questionable.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Kansas City will be extra motivated to defend Arrowhead after failing in the title game, while Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' pistol-heavy attack will test Patrick Mahomes on the edges. Home field advantage plus an extra week of preparation gives Mahomes the late-game edge.
Wow. Copilot. Ayo.
I don't know what's the extra week of preparation? The Eagles played before the Chiefs. And the Chiefs traveled to Brazil. Like if the Eagles are clearly the more rested team coming into this.
Just for those out there who want to go with Eddie, the Eagles minus 10.5 is 2-1.
I mean, it's too big. It should be odds on, really. Up next, Sunday Night Football. A classic battle. The Falcons at Vikings. How excited are you for this?
It's actually not a bad game. It'll be a good game to watch, I think. You're right. It doesn't have that marquee team name or watchability, but I think I'm interested in seeing Penix again for another week. And Michael Penix looked good in week 1. So we'll have to see how he looks in week 2 against a better defense in the Vikings, who kind of shut down Caleb Williams pretty well. And I am interested to see, does JJ McCarthy, does he come out now firing and ripping it? Like, was it just 3 really bad quarters for him to find his rhythm and now he's good to go? Or is that the anomaly that he kind of pulled it together in that one quarter to take out a win and he actually does kind of suck a little bit here? So I think it's an interesting game. I'll definitely watch it. Maybe I'll go to it. Who knows? We'll have to see.
So the Vikings are 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Vikings. I think the Vikings will win this. I think JJ McCarthy is a little better than those first 3 quarters let on, and I think the Vikings defense will be too much for Michael Penix. It's tough to take I know he's not a rookie, but for all intents and purposes, he's kind of a rookie.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think the Vikings defense will be the difference maker here. I just want to know, can JJ McCarthy get any more eye black on his face? Like, is it possible? And I actually just
At-
to, just to
I'll
double
go
it.
controversial. At what point does it become an issue?
Yeah. Interesting question. We're not probably the right people to debate it, but that is an interesting point. Uh, I asked Copilot, why does JJ McCarthy wear so much eye black? And they said JJ McCarthy wears heavy eye black as part of his intense game day persona. It's his war paint. Ooh. He
Ooh,
described
oh boy, oh boy.
he
multiple
described
multiple ethnicities being targeted now.
he described it as a psychological switch that helps him lock into competition mode. In his own words, that's when the war paint comes on. It's like, I'm ready to die on that field and I'm ready to do anything possible to get that win. It's not going to look pretty. It's war paint. Okay.
Is that Copilot making those quotes up or those
Who
real
knows?
quotes?
Who knows? We don't know. That's the beauty of AI. We have no idea who said it.
Yeah, I don't like it on McCarthy. I do like Jackson Dart. He does that one line down his eye to replicate Anakin Skywalker from the third Star Wars movie when he gets the scar on his eye. I kind of like that, but the JJ McCarthy one's a little much.
This is actually an interesting thing. Interestingly, McCarthy didn't wear eye black in just 3 games during his college career, all against Ohio State. Why? He wanted Buckeyes head coach Ryan Day to see his face clearly after beating him.
I like that. I kind of like him now. If that's real, or if Copilot made that up, I don't know. But if that's real, I kind of like that.
That decision stemmed from a personal grudge dating back to McCarthy's recruitment,
When he didn't recruit him,
where he felt
yeah.
misled by Day. That actually is true because there's a Sports Illustrated article why JJ McCarthy ditched his eye black for Ryan Day in Ohio State. So that those are the only games where he hasn't worn it. But yeah, so I expect the Vikings to win and to cover. Now we have the delight of the.
Well, here's
Yeah.
the question though. He didn't wear the eye black in those games, and he went 3-0 against Ohio State. He never lost against Ohio State. That team famously was like perfect against them. So maybe
Ditch
don't
the eye
wear
black.
the eye black.
Certainly in big games, like if he starts making to the playoffs in the NFL, maybe you have to apply the same logic and not wear it. But he needs his war paint, I guess. So, you know. Now we have the delight of the Monday night doubleheader. I think it's the least favorite of the NFL gimmicks. It's just
All
completely.
right, Simmons.
As we said again for years, I would
No,
love
no
this.
one likes it.
I would love this if they played the games at completely different times so that you had a doubleheader on Monday night. But this stupid system of one game kicking off an hour and 20 minutes earlier than the other one so that it's just about at halftime, but not quite at halftime. And then do you switch over? Which game are you watching? You watching both games? In which point, it's just, I don't get it. Just stagger them. So, do an East Coast and a West Coast game and have them at, 3 hours apart and have everyone be happy. I don't understand. But anyway, it's never going to change. The first one is the Buccaneers at the Texans. And the Texans are 2.5-point favorites.
I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to take the underdog, and I'm going to take the Bucks here. A little concerning. Stroud's played the Bucks once, and that was in his rookie year, 2023. He had you could call it a decent game, 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. But I think the Bucks defense is better now, and I think Todd Bowles will put a good scheme together based off of the fact that Stroud did kind of shred them that rookie season. I think they're going to get to him a little more. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 3-4 sacks on Stroud, and I really think that the Bucks offense and Baker Mayfield are out to prove a point this season, and I'll take the Bucks to win.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with the Bucks. As I said, I was left frustrated by the Texans in that if they were good, they would have beaten the Rams. They had plenty. The Rams were there for the taking. They only had to score 15 points to win that game. So again, it's hard to feel confident about an offense that only managed to put together 9 points and didn't score a single point in the second half. That's also, you had multiple possessions in the second half. You never put a drive together aside from the very end when they ended with the fumble. But other than that, just completely failed to move the ball. And the one thing I think obviously the Texans will move the ball more against a Buccaneers defense, which is nowhere near as good as the Rams, but that the Buccaneers score points for fun. So, the Texans have to be scoring 25 plus points in order to win this game. And I'm just not sure they're capable of that. And we're not too far away, I think, from having conversations about CJ Stroud having one of the biggest drop offs from a rookie season to now just, CJ Stroud's okay. So, yeah, I'll take the Buccaneers to win. And obviously the Buccaneers with the points, it actually kind of surprises me that even as a home team, that the Texans are our favorite.
Emotionally and sexually. Oh boy, Copilot.
and tilt field position in the home side's favor. And then to wrap things up, on Monday night, we've got the Chargers.
I will have to say too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, just getting back onto that game, the Bucs game. It was kind of cool because everyone who had like a preview on the Bucs had said that Emeka Egbuka looked phenomenal in training camp, and everyone was like, "This guy is the real deal. Like the Bucs love him. Trust us, trust me." And he came out and he had 2 touchdowns. Looked like a top receiver in 1 week into the NFL. That was like pretty impressive, and I wouldn't be surprised if going forward he becomes just like a go-to target for Baker Mayfield. Like if that's week 1 already, he could have a huge season because Baker Mayfield is not afraid to throw the ball and try and get people the ball who he thinks are playmakers. I mean, that's Mike Evans is a great wide receiver. I'm not taking that away from Mike Evans, but I think Baker Mayfield knows he's a good receiver and will do everything he can to get him the ball and just say like, I'm going to get you the ball. You make us plays. And if that's Egbuka now, I think he could have a huge season because Mayfield will try and get him the ball.
Yeah. And just having Mayfield with 2 possible studs at the wide receiver position, that's tough because they're going to air it out. Mayfield will throw into double coverage. Like there's no fear there on that front. So if they have the weapons, then they'll go for it.
For our listeners, Eddie almost got abducted. I was concerned. I was ready to call 911. Someone in a black tracksuit came into his room.
And we wrap things up with the Chargers at the Raiders, and Chargers are 3-point favorites. I have to admit, I'm drinking the Chargers Kool-Aid. I've spent a few years
be more
doubting
specific, Eddie.
doubting Herbert,
Thank you.
and I saw enough from them. I'm torn here, right? Because I'm down on the Chiefs, so I can't be super negative about the Chiefs, but then read that much into the Chargers beating the Chiefs. So, but still, Herbert looked good. He looked, every positive that we've thought of in terms of potential surrounding Justin Herbert sort of manifested in that first week. And I think you throw in a year under Harbaugh to kind of get things in order, and then the combination of his organized, structured approach, their run game being reasonably efficient, plus then Justin Herbert being able to operate within that system. And this could just be a good year for the Chargers. The Raiders, I think, should be heavier underdogs, but it feels like a little bit of an overreaction to them beating the Patriots, who, as we've already discussed, neither of us think are good. So, yeah, I expect the Chargers to win and to cover.
Yeah, I am completely with you. I'm not sold on the Raiders. They barely beat a team that is now an underdog to the Miami Dolphins. So let that sink in there a little bit. Yeah, they're improved. They have Geno Smith and Brock Bowers looks great, but Brock Bowers did not practice on Thursday. And his quote is, "We'll see how it's feeling, but I'm hoping to play." That is not super encouraging. I think if it were a little better, he would say like, "I'll be playing" or "I'll be there." And then you have that slight risk that he's just lying to you. But that alone is very scary because Brock Bowers is the best player on that team and probably the best tight end in the NFL. a huge target for Geno Smith. Like played great in week 1. But yeah, the Chargers looked very good. I understand you don't like the Chiefs, but the Chiefs do have a good defense, and they have a great defensive coordinator who has done well in the past against Herbert, and Herbert still looked very good against the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs defense is much better than the Raiders defense. So despite the Chargers having to fly all the way back from Brazil on a little bit of a short rest here, I'll take the Chargers.
But according to Copilot, they got an extra week's rest, right? I don't know. And also, you keep saying Geno Smith. You keep saying Geno Smith. Copilot doesn't think Geno Smith is going to play because it has the Chargers winning 30-23, and it says Justin Herbert leads a high octane LA attack, and the Chargers are 3.5-point favorites on the road. Vegas's secondary will be tested early and often. And Derek Carr has shown he can't match Herbert's downfield accuracy.
Oh my God.
Austin Eckler and Mike Williams combined for 180 receiving rushing yards, putting the Chargers comfortably in front before the fourth quarter. Oh, so.
Wait, Eddie. Is Copilot onto something? Yesterday, Derek Carr said he isn't closing the door on his playing career quite yet and is not ruling out a possible comeback. Oh, boy, breaking news. Derek Carr has re-signed with the Raiders.
And it's going to start straight away. Controversial. Poor Geno Smith. Thought he finally found a home? No. Yeah. Now, this is why you should be careful with AI, because it is, at times, wildly inaccurate. Or Sam, whoever it is behind.
Oh, is this like the underlying reason you're doing this? This is like a case study to the world as to like why we shouldn't be trusting AI.
Yep, exactly. Listeners will get to track over the course of the season just how inaccurate AI is, the number of basic fundamental errors of readily available public information it's unable to identify. So, meanwhile, people trying to churn out content that they're using for professional purposes. And according to Copilot, Bill Belichick is the Jets coach. Derek Carr is the starting quarterback.
No, he's the Jets defensive coordinator. Yeah. Even worse.
Derek Carr is the starting quarterback for the Raiders.
And he thinks the Chiefs will beat the Eagles.
And the Chiefs had a bye week in week 1. Other than that, nailed it.
Yeah. So I guess moving on then from the NFL, I know we've kind of been going on for a while, but let's quickly discuss some pop culture stuff. So HBO is a new miniseries Task from the same creator as Mayor of Easttown. Week 1 or episode 1 premiered last Sunday. We both have watched it.
No, I
haven't seen it. Oh,
I haven't seen Task. I haven't seen it.
Oh my God!
I'll be watching it tonight.
Us, Eddie. You promised.
I'll be watching it tonight. I just didn't have time this week. I'll be watching it tonight. Tonight. Next week we can do a double.
Okay, we'll do a double.
If anything, that's better for listeners because you get to get two episodes under the belt. We kind of know where we stand a bit more with the show. Yeah. So it's probably ideal.
Yeah,
I did it intentionally.
It was a pretty big setup episode, but very well done. It looks like it's going to be a really good show. I'll keep it at that. The other one I wanted to talk about was we had discussed previously about The Paper, which is the Office spinoff. And we both said it has some potential. Don't trust too much because of the pilot. Give it some time. Maybe it gets its legs. I will say it's a decently funny show. I've now watched 8 episodes.
I think I'm about the same.
As it gets going by like episode 4 or 5, it gets significantly more funny. The product review episode, I was on the plane, like almost laughing, almost in tears, trying not to laugh so hard because I looked like a psycho watching on my phone and laughing. But the product review, and it's the spoiler for those who haven't seen it, when when Ned is like asleep at the office and the janitor comes in and thinks he's dead, fucking cracked me up, and Ned's face is like peeling off and he's all red. It was fucking hysterical. I thought it was so funny. My only disappointment with this show is the Italian woman is on a different fucking show. Like she's not in the same show that everyone else in the show is in. And I don't understand it. If it were like season 4 and she's kind of like off doing side quests every episode that don't involve The Office, I would get it because maybe it's like, oh, we don't know what to do with her. But this is season 1 and already 4 episodes, she has nothing to do with the rest of the Office. It's so stupid. Like I'm sorry, but they have to get rid of her. They have to like kill her off.
First Moody, now
Yeah.
the Italian character. And I do kind of agree with you. She doesn't contribute a lot. She is very rarely involved in the sort of major plot of and kind of story arc of an episode. And yeah, she is at times doing her just completely her own thing. I guess the only thing you could say is the one episode she sort of contributed well was the catfishing episode.
Which was decent. I
Yeah.
still didn't like her in it, but
Yeah.
like I could handle her. The
It's also
episode where she tries to get her son to audition and she does that like skit herself, I almost had to turn it off. It was so bad. I cannot stand when they try and do like the Modern Family. She can't say words properly, but then all of a sudden she's like super smart and intelligent and can do everything correctly, but then all of a sudden can't say like a word. Like it's so stupid. I hate that so much.
the thing I find tough with it as well is that not only does she existing in a different universe in terms of the plot point she's involved in, but all the fundamentally every other character in the show is a real person. Like, yes,
Yeah.
slight accentuated versions. Like you could say, like, well, the old black guy, like, why are they keeping him around? He's sort of implied to have dementia, basically, and just sort of mumbling to himself at times. So why is he, would he? But you could imagine a scenario where just an old employee just kind of hangs around forever in a
Yeah.
newspaper that, like it's not that wild, but everyone else kind of seems like realistic people. Like that person could exist. And she just couldn't. You just
No.
immediately comes across as, no, there's no way.
It's not only is it not a real person, you would not still have a job. Like she would be fired immediately. And then like the even worse than the episode of like her auditioning with her son was the one where like the old man comes into her dreams and she has like a sex dream about him. That was brutal.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, well, good luck. Because that one was brutal. Just so cringe. Like oh shit, I don't understand. It's like two different types of comedy, and one is pretty good, like well written comedy, and the other one is like what a 6-year-old would watch.
Yeah. The person we have,
But you can't get like honestly, like it's sad because like she can never go off the show.
no.
So they're stuck with her.
The only person I know, and we haven't discussed Vasilis in a while, but I think Vasilis would find that character funny. Like that
hysterical.
to him, that's who the character exists for, because he would find everyone else really boring. Like if we made him watch it, he'd come away being like, not a great show, but I love the Italian woman. Like can we have just her? But because I still stick to the idea that the English guy is annoying because he is just doing a
He is
bit,
Ricky Gervais.
but he's in it so little that it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like most of the time in an episode, it's just him in a background shot. Say like the catfishing episode, it's just him wandering around with a cake. It's not that annoying because he's just there. But
he has some episodes in it. He's in a decent amount. Have you seen the one where Ned has to become the salesman?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one. He's in that one a decent amount. That one's kind of funny too.
But for the most part, at least, he's such a fringe character. And it's actually frustrating because then you look at a couple of the fringe characters who I think could be more involved, who aren't. And maybe season 2, that's the opportunity. That's the shift that you make. But for example, I find the guy who's works for the paper company and, who like has the conspiracy theories and like that, it has the drone and stuff.
Oh yeah. But he's like he works for the toilet paper company, but
he's consistently funny in how he's funny. But he's not involved very much. And I would rather a little bit more. Now the balance there is if he was in it more, would I then be like, that's enough of that. Like I don't need the sort of, you're kind of doing a Dwight thing of, like, And that's the problem with the show, is with every character you're picking out which character from The Office is this person most like, you know? And because they are checking a lot of the same boxes. But, it's a good show. Like, genuinely, I'm enjoying watching it.
Yeah, me too. I also like the other kind of like dopey male character who he's forced to take the pill. That was like a good little interaction. He makes take that pill. He's like, I can't get pregnant again. I can't do it. It's like really funny.
Yeah. No, it's better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't think I would really enjoy it, and I do actually look forward to watching episodes. So
Yeah.
that's, I can't give it, I won't give it more praise than that. It's not blowing me away, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, agreed. Anything else?
No, I think that's just about it.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we'll call it a day.
Sounds good.
Talk to you later.
See ya.